From New York City, it's the Times Square Rockin' Countdown with Dick Clark! Yeah! We're almost there! We're almost there, everybody! Are you ready to count it down? Yeah! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
You're about to enter a world where you don't have to watch Ryan Seacrest on New Year's Rockin' Eve. But change the channel at your own peril. No one actually knows what's on the other channels during New Year's Eve. But tonight we're about to find out. For legal reasons, I'm Rod Swirling. But this is The Twilight Zone. We start with public access television. But be careful. When you choose public access over Dick Clark, you run the risk of being sucked dry by a pledge drive.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is great news. Our funding has come through for children's programming. We'll finally be able to afford it because some generous anonymous donor gave us a gift of $100,000. Finally, public television will be available for children. And whoever this generous donor is, this anonymous person, I hope that he or she knows.
It's he, and he is me. My name is Anonymous Stamatopoulos, and I gave all that money. And I think, are all the cameras facing me? I want to make sure you can all see me. My parents named me Anonymous, and ever since then I've been a real attention seeker. You've probably seen my name, Anonymous Stamatopoulos, all around town. In the back of your playbills, at church on the Tree of Giving, even online when you give $10 to your friend's Relay for Life team. How did I, Anonymous Stamatopoulos, get all this money? Well, let's just say there's a lot of money in going to the police and being a tipster. I helped bring down the Unabomber, the Oklahoma City bomber. Pretty much all the bombers. Remember when Bin Laden went down this year earlier? The next day I threw myself a $25 million pizza party. Now why do I do it? Why do I, Anonymous Stamatopoulos, give my money away? It's not because I feel bad for people. No, I want them to pay it forward. I want them to take the money I give to them, turn to a stranger and say, look what he just did. Look at Anonymous. Now you probably heard earlier this year that some mysterious anonymous donor went into Kmart and paid down the debt on people's layaway Christmas toys. That was me. You probably saw on NBC that some anonymous donor put a $500 gold coin into a Salvation Army bucket. That was me. Now you probably think it's easy for me just to give away all my money, but I'll tell you what, it's very difficult, and sometimes I spiral into a very dark place. When that happens, I, Anonymous Stamatopoulos, turn to my alcohol support group. Now I know the question on everybody's mind right now. When a prostitute says she regrets having anonymous sex, is she talking about me? Well, how can I not have anonymous sex? Also, yes, I'll hire a prostitute. And when I do, the name that I give her? John. Every time you hear a prostitute say that she picked up a John for anonymous sex, she's talking about me. Now, there's a lot of unseemly philanthropists out there. Warren Buffett cheats at golf. But if he asks who told you, don't say you heard it from an anonymous source. That would just give it away. I'm not the only philanthropist engaged in self-promotion. Well, you ever watch PBS? At the end of every single show, they mention the name of my business rival, Mr. Howard Yu. Corporations, foundations, and viewers just like you. That didn't come cheap. You know what? Bill Gates brings store-bought cookies to bake sales because Melinda can't cook to save her life. You didn't hear it from me, I'm just saying. You, sir, I want to donate $5,000 to the charity of your choice in my name. On second thought, make it the charity of my choice. I've been doing this a long time. I know its charities have good newsletters, so we can really spread the word about what I did here. Well, it was embarrassing getting a phone call. Unlisted. What a jerk.
Times Square on New Year's Eve. A place full of animals. You know where else you can find animals? Among animals. This year, consider spending your New Year's Eve watching the Discovery Channel and Planet Earth.
The great white shark, the largest predatory fish on the planet. Each dawn, Cape fur seals must leave their colony to go fishing, but they must cross a narrow strip of sea that is patrolled by great whites. Oh, just look at how beautiful these shots are. Sure, we here at Planet Earth know you've probably seen 1,000 shots of seals swimming in the ocean, but have you seen them swimming in slow motion? No, you don't have to thank us. We know it's your favorite. Planet Earth takes care of you, the viewer. And we do it because we love you, baby. Honestly, look at the high definition of this footage. Name another show that treats you this well. Nova? That clown Jack Hanna? No. None of them care about you like we do. They don't care about your needs. With us, you're witnessing the nature documentary equivalent of Stanley Kubrick fucking Orson Welles. I'm sorry, I got carried away. It's just that I love you, baby. I can assure you, no one else can treat you the way we do. This is visual poetry. We know you hate seals. So we went and got the finest footage of a great white absolutely destroying one. You can't deny it, baby. We go together. So put the kids to bed and call in sick tomorrow. You've got a Planet Earth marathon to take care of.
At the end of the year, many different television shows will have lists of the top movies of the year. It's a time-honored and cherished tradition. Entertainment Tonight, Ebert and Roper. But be careful. You want to check your sources. You don't want to get recommendations from local cable access. There's only two things that scare me. Pina coladas and cable access.
Another episode of Up to Snuff, the only television show devoted entirely to the art of snuff filmmaking. I'm your host, Fred Hines, and I'm joined, as always, by former snuff filmmaker...
current snuff filmmaker.
current snuff filmmaker, Eric Shawalski.
I've been on a bit of a creative hiatus.
Okay, so we've got a great show for you tonight, so let's get started. Our first review is of one of the most highly anticipated releases of the year. The film chronicles the journey of one man, traveling across the country in his automobile. But the journey, much like life, has a few bumps in the road. In this case, about 24 unsuspecting geriatrics that have escaped from their elderly care facility. The film is Driving Over Miss Daisy. Eric, what's your take?
Trivial pish-posh. At this point, who hasn't seen old people being run down by cars?
Yes, you're not exactly exploring a new territory there. And I mean, to be honest, I was not impressed with the director's effort. I mean, all he seems to have done is just put a camcorder on the dashboard and just stomped his foot down on the pedal. Although I will say, I've never seen a dialysis machine struck by a car going 80 miles per hour.
But it was all shot from the same angle, and at a certain point in the movie, the windshield was obscured by so many limbs and catheter bags that you could barely see the action.
Not very technically impressive.
Not at all. You know, in one of my more recent pictures, I did a hit.
What's your final rating, Eric?
I'm just going to talk
Eric?
about it. Give it 25 years to life.
More than fair, if you ask me. I give it 20 years with possibility of parole with good behavior. Our next film has become a surprise hit of the holiday snuff season when it was released last week. The film, though on its surface appears to be just a collection of shots chronicling a bound man being starved to death in a basement, it is in effect an artistic exercise in austerity and restraint. Eric, what did you think of Guess Who's Not Coming to Dinner?
Hack work by a hack director. I have seen more people starve in the last year. It's a fashion trend.
You know, well, I found the film tastefully understated.
That's because you don't understand the finer arts of snuff filmmaking. Now, when I made my starvation picture, I tried to use an engaging mise-en-scene to bring the audience...
Tell me, is anyone actually going to see this starvation picture of yours this time?
No, the camera ran out of batteries because I didn't realize how long it takes for someone to starve to death.
Right. Well, I heard the child that you used didn't even die. Well, on a more somber note, as we near the end of the year, we want to take a look back at some of the family, friends, and other loved ones that we lost in 2011. So, will you please join me in watching this. Rest in peace, old friends.
I couldn't help but notice that none of my victims were included.
Well, if you want them on there, why don't you just kill a guy and film it?
I'm waiting for my muse!
All right, well, speaking of muses, our guest tonight is a favorite of the show, and he became a huge star after his film released last year, Schindler's List of People to Kill. His next film, Citizen Slain, is being released in theaters this Friday. Please welcome me in joining one of our favorite guests, Donnie Dalton. Donnie, welcome to the show.
It's good to be back.
Great to
Thank
have you. Please, let's talk about your new film.
Yes, it takes place in a dilapidated motel on the outskirts of town.
Oh, let me guess. You kidnap a couple of blonde women and strangle them to death while listening to Hank Williams Jr. records.
Well, that's right, but there's more.
Don't do this now, all right?
Oh, where did you get this genius idea of yours, Donnie? Was it perhaps from every other film you've ever made?
It's called thematic unity.
It's called horseshit filmmaking.
All right, that's enough.
What's your problem, buddy?
My problem is that you're a hack, and everyone kisses your ass.
Call me a hack if you want, but at least I make something. It's a lot harder to build something up than to rip it apart. I'd rather be a hack snuff filmmaker than some nobody critic.
I make snuff films.
No, you don't. You make ridiculous, pitiful home movies that nobody's ever going to see. I heard what happened on your last film. I mean, who forgets to take the lens cap off the camera?
It looks like it's part of the camera!
Even the titles of your movies suck.
Natural Born Killers was a great title!
It's not even a pun. You know what? I doubt you've ever killed a single person in your whole entire life.
You take that back. You take that back and show me the respect that I deserve.
Okay, oh, shit. All right, just, Eric, put the gun down, all right? Stop.
Treat me with the respect I deserve!
Threatening me with the gun? And you called me a hack.
Well, that's our show, I guess.
I did it! I killed someone on film! I'm a snuff filmmaker!
Yeah, Eric, you did a real good job with that interview. Thank you very much.
Finally! Success! You can call me a snuff filmmaker now and no one will make fun of me!
Well, Eric, you know, this isn't film, it's television. Public access television. It's idiots.
Wow, that was intense. But I warned you, you still had to change the channel and watch it. Now there's only one thing out there that can really cleanse our palate. More Planet Earth.
An Amur leopard, the rarest cat on Earth. Virtually impossible to film, as the cat exists almost exclusively as whispers on the tongues of the natives. So difficult to glimpse that they are like spirits. Is this even impressing you? I feel like you don't even care. You could live a lifetime in these woods and never see an Amur leopard. And we found not one, but two of these mythical forest creatures just for you, baby. I know we were gone a long time, but you were always in our thoughts. When we went to the end of the earth to track down the rarest cat in the world, it was for you, baby. It was always for you. What's the matter? You're still not impressed, are you? Well, that's okay. This isn't our best footage. The really primo stuff is still in the film canisters. But don't worry, we'll include it on the DVD. We know how you like bonus features. Why aren't you looking at me? It's him, isn't it? You saw National Geographic, didn't you? Don't lie to me. I can smell him on you. Why do you always run back to him? What does he have that I don't? Okay, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell, I love you too much, you know? I promise I'll treat you better, baby. We'll be better. Everything's gonna be better from now on.
Every turn of the cable dial is a trip back in time. Turner Movie Classics. American Movie Classics. Nicholas at Night. But when you're traveling back in time, please, do me a favor and say hello to my old pal, Film Noir.
The holiday season. A time for fun, family, merriment. Things that I avoid at all costs. Around this time of year, young people in love are looking for mistletoe. For me, I've never been in love. And the only thing I want to see is camel toe. J.P. McGonagall, Peeping Tom. Around the holiday season, people tend to leave their lights on. And when I'm out on the prowl, all I have to do is walk down a row of houses. It's like a line of little theaters, hybridized with a great cable package. So many channels to choose from, so little time, and so many of them are so very dirty. I picked one particular house and climbed up an elm tree outside. There were stockings hung by the chimney with care. What I wouldn't give to sniff them and wrap them around my chimney with alarm. Yeah, the holidays, the only time of year when people hope to hear footsteps on their rooftop. And I'm loath to disappoint. I was looking through a window and then I saw her. A late 30s blonde with saggy boobs and an ass to match. You could tell she'd had a couple kids from her C-section scars. Nice. I'd just settled in for a long winter's fap. When up on the roof there arose such a clatter, I fell out of the tree and sprained my penis. As I limped home, I could swear I heard the faint sound of jingle bells. So here I am, a week later, still with a broken penis. Was it Santa? I don't know. But when I woke up the next day, there was a brand new pair of binoculars in my hammock. So whoever it was, thanks. I may have someone watching over me, but you can count on me watching over you. I'm J.P. McGonagall, Peeping Tom.
During that last sketch, I received a message from the folks over at Planet Earth. The narrator of that show wishes to express his remorse and apologize for his behavior. So we recommended that we switch the channel, back to Discovery Channel, to hear what he has to say. Hopefully.
The six-pruned bird of paradise attempts to attract a mate by doing a dance and... Oh, fuck it. Who gives a shit about these goddamn birds? What will it take to impress you? Why won't you take me back? You can't leave me like this. I have your name tattooed on my neck. My neck, for Christ's sakes. I can't believe I did all this for you. Look at these little asshole birds, hopping around with their smug little faces. We spent 4 years in the Indonesian rainforest trying to film these little bastards mating. I don't think I enjoyed a solid shit the entire time I was in country. And for what? A few minutes of these birds' ridiculous foreplay dance. All of that for footage of these insufferable goddamn birds not fucking. I hope farmers burn down their forest and they all get sucked into an airplane engine. What? Does that surprise you to hear me say that? Well, guess what? I hate nature. I always have. I just pretended to like it so you'd talk to me. Is this the type of shitty little mating dance National Geographic did to woo you? Is that how he won your heart? I'll bet you already heard about me going to his office and threatening him at his job the other day. I'm sorry about that. But the terms of the restraining order are pretty strict. How else am I supposed to get through to you? You have to talk to me. If you don't, I'm going to steal so much of your mail. You know what? Fine. Cast me out. I don't care anymore. But know this. I am the best thing you ever had. You haven't heard the last of me. I'm going to be a star. I don't need you or anyone. And when I make it to the top, you'll look back on this day and say, man, I really wish I had never broken his heart. No, this won't be the last time you'll hear of planet Earth.
Letting old people on television is never a good idea. They're crotchety, and they could die at any moment. But if there's one thing they are good at, it's having opinions about popular music.
Have a holly jolly Christmas, it's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer.
Hello, and welcome to Time Life Presents Christmas Music. My name is Melvin, and this is Carl.
Every year, we unendorse the worst Christmas album of the year. In the past, we've listened to such garbage as Amy Winehouse,
Beyonce,
Lady Antebellum,
U2,
The Dixie Chicks,
John Mayer,
Nora Jones,
and Peebo Bryson.
All the songs on this album, whether they're pop music, whether they're choral music, or whether they're traditional Christmas carols, have been ruined by the man who really gets our gizzard. It's Michael Bublé. Just listen to this one.
Better not pout, I am telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Don't you miss when these songs were sung by people who you knew?
This schmuck thinks that just by adding an upbeat, suddenly he's Frank Sinatra. Listen.
Like here.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
The thing I hate most about Michael Bublé is the way that he reminds me of my own mortality. Which is why it's even worse that he chooses to waste 30 seconds at the beginning of every song with some instrumental tune. Just get to the singing. The Lord gave you a beautiful milky white face, a smile from Ottawa to Saskatchewan, and pipes of gold. So just go ahead and sing. We're all going to die soon. Just use your words.
Use your voice, Michael. Use your mouth to make words.
I have an appointment with my ear, nose, and throat guy in 6 hours. Am I going to make it, Michael?
We are all going to die one day, but I don't want to die waiting for this.
Here we go. No. Here we go. My bladder has less false alarms. That's enough of that. Every word out of his mouth brings me this much closer to signing a do not resuscitate in the event of a nap.
What's worse, this man thinks that just because he's got deep, watery eyes that make you want to slip down to your skinnies and jump in and swim around for hours, he's got the right to try to woo your wife, daughter, and granddaughter, like he does in this next ditty.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light.
Listen to that crooning!
Every single song on this album is as beautiful as the day it was written.
Except for the fact that it's sung by Michael Bublé.
That's right. Like this one.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad.
Speak English!
Leave it to a Canadian to do a duet with a Mexican of a Puerto Rican song written by a blind high school dropout. What other garbage is out here? It's beautiful. It's no Dean Martin, but it is beautiful.
It's bringing me back. Of course, when you're my age, just about everything brings you back. 84 years old. Yesterday I farted and was reminded of Normandy.
You were in the war.
No. My wife and I visited Normandy last year. It was a rocky ride, I was a little bit gassy, and long story short, I shat myself on the plane. Felt like I had fresh ricotta cheese rolling down my knees. I know what goat herders feel like now.
Well,
Squish, squish, squish.
I understand. I think it's best for us to go.